going to share an amazing yoga series with you to open up the inner thighs. So it's called the Traveling Horse series, and you'll see why in a minute. The whole series takes 3 minutes. So you're going to need something to time yourself with. Each pose is held for 1 minute. So there are 3 poses, and in all of my series I hold postures for a minimum of 1 minute. So it's really a good idea to get one of these. Okay, so I use Gym Boss if you need some recommendations, and it's great because you can set it to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It buzzes, and then when you're done, you just switch to the other side. So this series is going to open the hips, really nourish the inner thighs, and that's what we want to help us relax. And the great thing about this series is you can do it anywhere. So very often if you are in a seated position or the poses are sitting, you need to find space to sit down. But this one you can do at work. So when everybody's left the office for the lunch break, or if you've got a big enough restroom, you can just pop in there 3 minutes and you've released the tension in the body and released the tension in the mind, and you feel amazing. So let's get straight to it. The first pose is a squat. Okay, so I want you to just come onto your feet turned out, and you're going to take your elbows, place them inside the knees. And so the beginning of any posture is just finding the shape of the pose. So you just want to get into the shape, let your body settle in, take a nice deep breath, and then we're going to start sinking into it. You're going to push your knees away from you with your elbows and allow the body just to sink down. Let the muscles relax so that we can really affect the fascia, the connective tissue around the muscles that causes the stiffness, that causes this feeling of sort of gripping. So we want to just get that out, elongate the muscles, and that's why we need to stay in postures for a minimum of 1 minute. Really, a minimum of 1 minute. To really nurture our flexibility, to open up the body. So when you get into this beautiful space, you're just going to allow yourself to open the knees a little wider and melt down a little deeper. And then just enjoy it. So we're in horse pose now, pose number 1. And when you start to love a pose, you'll find that you'll start to move in it. I often just move from side to side, like I'm doing a little sort of swaying movement inside it. And it just, you really internalize it, and you make it your own. You don't stand stiff still and try to interpret some aesthetic picture. You really just embody the feeling that the pose is giving you, the opening. So when you're done with that for 1 minute, now this is the traveling side. You're going to move over to one side, and you can have your heel off the ground or put it on a block if that's more comfortable for you. And this foot can be pointed or flexed. So what I really want you to get is, don't worry too much about that stuff. It's not about the feet. We're affecting the adductors. We're affecting the inner thighs. This is where we're opening. So lots of breath really into the inner thighs and just melt down there for 1 minute. And then when you've been there for 1 minute, you just come back to the center, travel through the center all the way to the other side, and you stay here for 1 minute. And again, just allowing the mind to relax, allowing the body to relax, and just sinking deeply into it with every breath. It really, really, really is a beautiful series, and so nourishing, really, really nourishing. So when you've been here for 1 minute, come back to the center, and you can just come onto your knees. And that is it. So traveling horse is 3 minutes. So you come into your horse squat, then you travel to the one side, you travel to the other side, and then you're done. And that is how short and sweet this series is, and it is incredibly healing for both your body and your mind. So I hope you enjoy that as much as I do and my students do. So namaste everybody.